two halves in terms of our defensive intensity, physicality, communication. I thought our defense was very poor in the first half, and then to respond and only give up 46 points in the second half against a very talented Wizards team, I thought showed the resolve of our group. The guys buckled down at halftime, really committed to that end. I thought there were a couple different people that sparked some of that. I thought Colin, his energy was infectious, getting into Bradley Beal, albeit on a couple plays where he got called for fouls. I think he kind of stirred the game up some. And then Nikhil guarded him after that. I thought, there was a wear down effect on Beal. Even though he was scoring, he had to work very hard for some of those 2-point baskets. So I want to give Colin a lot of credit his first night back, bringing that energy to the game. Nikhil, again, continues to be impressive with his commitment to the defensive end. But all in all, it was a team defense in the second half that helped us get this win, and looking forward to a couple days off.
What did you like out of Malik's defensive performance in that second half?
I thought Malik did a great job of recognizing the times to fan back out to the shooters, and it ended up getting him a couple of steals. It's something that we work on a lot and talk about a lot. Those decisions in pick and roll defense can be hard to make. Am I going to help? Am I going to tag the roller? Or am I going back out to the shooter? And I thought Malik, tonight did a great job of getting in those passing lanes, getting 4 steals, getting himself out in transition to get some easy baskets.
What did you think of, what did you see out of Walker tonight, especially in the second half?
Walker does a lot for us defensively. He is still understanding how high on the court he can or cannot be based on who he's guarding and who the roller is. So at times there are, I've said to you guys before, some loud baskets. Lob dunk to Gafford. He gets a little bit off the line. Gafford gets a putback dunk. But I think in general, Walker's ability to not just block shots, but the shots that teams don't take because they see him down there helps us tremendously. He's learning on the fly, because if you're a dropping big and pick and roll, generally you have the best scorers in the NBA coming downhill at you over and over and over again. Bradley Beal tonight is one of the best at that. So he's put in a lot of tough spots, and it can feel daunting at times when you're in that spot as a young player, because you're playing against the best guys in the world, and it can be very unforgiving. He was such a high-level defender in college. I'm not sure how many times he was dunked on in college. I would imagine you could count him on one hand, and he seems to, in the NBA, if you're a dropping 5, you get dunked on almost every night once. And I think he is learning how to work through those moments where, sure, it was a dunk, but it's only 2 points, and we're going to need you to continue to participate in the following possessions. And he's done a better job as the season's gone of moving on to the next play. He's a self-proclaimed perfectionist, and that's the way he goes about his work every day. He's hard on himself in the game. I've joked with you guys about how much he apologizes to me during the games. He's learning that the NBA is unforgiving, and you have to have a short memory, especially when you're, a high-level defensive big.
Is Malik starting to figure out how to drive a little bit more in this offense?
Absolutely. I think Malik is recognizing the opportunities to attack off closeouts, off some of the flare screens that we run for him when teams chase him. His reputation as an elite shooter in this league makes teams guard him very tightly. It makes teams run at him very hard in closeouts. And so he's done a good job of mixing it. We don't want to ever strip Malik of his quick trigger from the three-point line. That means that at times he takes shots that if you were to pause the film, you may say, ooh, that one was a little bit contested. But with his reputation, he's not going to get a ton of wide open threes. So it's a mix of trying to squeeze off threes in tight windows and then also finding the opportunities to drive closeouts for himself. He's gotten pretty good at that floater going right off 1 foot, and also opportunities to drive, draw the defense, and kick to a teammate.
What was working for you guys offensively down the stretch to where the balance was so good, to where Beal could go on a scoring streak, but then he could be answered by Colin at one point, or Malik at one point, or Jordan at one point.
Yeah, I think our spacing was much better at the end of the game. Colin drove and got fouled. We had an action happening on the left side of the floor. A lot of their defense was hugged up, and so Colin recognized it was an opportunity to drive with his right hand against Beal. Colin's a hard guy to guard one-on-one in space. JC did a good job of, playing pick and roll, whether it was an initial pick and roll called for him or coming off of an off-ball screen and then getting into a pick and roll. I thought our spacing on the court was very good, and it just allowed those guys to make clean decisions. Walker continuing to improve as a screener and a roller draws in some defense. It puts pressure on the rim, whether he gets the ball or not, and it allows for those guys to make easy reads. So it's always a team effort on that end, especially at the end of a game when you're trying to execute. It can feel really hard at times when a guy like Bradley Beal is continuing to score, but I thought our team's poised. I thought Mike got everybody organized. The spacing was great. Walker did a good job screening.
Your defensive rebounding percentage tonight was awesome.
Wow.
They only had 3 offensive rebounds, right? So what did you see on that end? Why was that successful tonight?
It was a group effort, as always. I thought we did a good job getting our initial hand on the first rebound, if that makes sense. The ball gets off the rim, there's a crowd, and we kind of tipped it up in the air, and I thought our guards did a good job of tracking down the secondary rebound. Jordan had, what did he end with? 7 rebounds, and a lot of those are around the free throw line. Like, he's not getting those under the basket. So I thought we competed under the basket, and then our perimeter players did a better job of coming back in to dig out those secondary bounces.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fun. Thanks, guys.
Christmas. 6 baskets inside the arc tonight, and obviously the 3-point shots is most of your game normally, but what was it that was allowing you to get free inside so much?
Just attacking the hole and not settling for 3. That was the main difference, and I'm gonna keep doing that and allow the defense to play honest.
How are you kind of developing that part of your game?
It's been in my game. I just don't do it enough. I settle for 3 too much, and I think that's sometimes where I get complacent. So I just gotta make sure I keep tagging downhill.
Did 4 steals. What was working on the defensive end?
Just being in the right spot. I don't think anything particular. Keeping my hands active, knowing which guys will pass the ball and which guys won't, and if they, if they're stuck in a certain position, they'll pass the ball. So just being at the right spot.
You slapped the hardwood at one point tonight. Were you just feeling it?
No, I just, I don't know why I did that. Just wanted to show some passion. Low-key wanted to foul, but sometimes you don't get it, so just got back on D.
Could you take us through the decision process of when to pull up or to find a driving lane? Just I know it's obviously so quick, but kind of take us through.
I was just reading the defense. It's my 7th year, so the game is starting to slow down for me. If the big is hedging up or if the big is in a drop, you shoot the ball, and if not, you attack the defensive player's feet. And, it becomes easier over time.
I know that you're a guy that sees himself as a starter, so how do you blend, the confidence of knowing that say, hey, I should be in the starting lineup somewhere, to be able to come off the bench and do what you do?
I know I'm a starter in this league, and that doesn't change my mindset every game. I'm still a team player, and my role is to come in and do what I do off the bench. I still sometimes finish the game. I still go in early with the starters, and it just depends on the game flow. Doesn't have to do it not being mad with not starting, but I take advantage of my role and do what I'm supposed to do, and help the team win in any way.
Any thoughts on the 3-point contest, the All-Star break? I mean, if given the opportunity, is that something you really want to pursue?
Yeah, I want to be in it, so whatever we gotta do to allow that to happen, I feel like I have a high chance of winning it too.
Have you ever done a 3-point contest before?
In high school, but
How'd it go?
I won.
Assuming as much,
I'm ready to win an NBA one though. Mike Conley got it a few years ago and lost by 1 point, so I got to redeem that and get it back from him.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Malik.